Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Grand Canyon and how the new system that they have in place and how that's going to affect Arizona through hikers. If you have not heard, the Grand Canyon has merged over to the recreation.gov website for all backcountry permits and camping reservations within the Grand Canyon National Park. That's going into effect January 2024. You can already start making bookings online for the upcoming year. It's a 6-month window. And so in this video, we're going to be talking about how this is going to affect Arizona through hikers, what that means for us when we walk up to the park. Before, it was very flexible, and it's also actually still pretty flexible, and we're going to talk about that today. I had the pleasure of having an interview with one of the backcountry rangers on the South Rim just last month, and I asked every question I could possibly think of. So we're just going to go over that right now. So are you going to need to pre-plan for permits in the Grand Canyon for your Arizona trail through hike? And the answer quite simply is no. So the way it used to work, you used to show up at the South Rim or the North Rim of the Grand Canyon, and they had allocated campsites for Arizona through hikers or anybody actually that walks or bikes up to the canyon. And that still is actually in effect. So if you're going southbound, when you get to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon, you can go over and check into the campground, and it should be $6 a night to spend at the campground, which is a really, really amazing campground. Just as well at the South Rim, at the Mather campground, they have campsites allocated for us as well. Now, within the Grand Canyon, I know in previous years they've talked about stock sites and that those were available for Arizona through hikers. And what a stock site was basically if you decided to come down with your own horse and do the Grand Canyon, they had campsites that were allocated for that. That was actually kind of a false statement, and that wasn't necessarily true. Before, you used to be able to go to Cottonwood Campground and stay at that stock site, quote unquote, stock site. And that's no longer the case for this upcoming 2024 season. So they are going to have spots for any Arizona through hiker at a group campsite at the Bright Angel Campground, which is the campground that is very close to the Phantom Ranch. And that's going to be the only spot that they're going to have for us in the canyon. That doesn't mean that you couldn't acquire another spot if you were to walk up. And we're going to talk about that right now as how it works for you as a walk-up Arizona Trail through hiker. And so basically the way it works is you go to the backcountry office. Now, if you're heading northbound, you'll be hitting the South Rim first, and you'll want to be going to the South Rim backcountry office. And vice versa, if you are hitting the North Rim first, you want to be going to the North Rim backcountry office. And when you check in there, let them know that you're an Arizona through hiker and what your intentions are. Now, the Grand Canyon has many, many trails and lots of miles to hike. The Arizona Trail goes through the Kaibab Trail and certainly can be done several other ways if you wanted to add an additional miles to your adventure. So you would want to go to the backcountry office to talk to the backcountry rangers to see what they would have available for permits. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a guaranteed permit. You're going to have to be flexible, and they're going to be flexible with you in trying to get you the adventure through the Grand Canyon that you're looking to hike. And there may mean that you have to wait at the South Rim or the North Rim campground for a day or two for those permits to become available. So you could hike whatever trails that you want to hike in the canyon itself. So they're very flexible with the Arizona through hikers. Actually, a lot of the rangers themselves, in fact, the one that I had the interview with at the South Rim was a ex-through hiker. So they're very accommodating to us. So you shouldn't really stress out too much about the pre-planning of the Grand Canyon. Every time that I've done the Arizona Trail, which is 4 times now, I let the permits decide which route that I go through the Grand Canyon. And that just really based on availability. So by going to the backcountry office and I check in there and see what they have available, that opens up the options of what I can hike. There are tons of trails, including the Tonto Trail, West Tonto, East Tonto, Beamer Trail. On the South Rim, there are, I believe, 6 different ways to enter in the canyon. So lots of different options there. Unfortunately, from the North Rim, there's really only one way to get in and out of the canyon. So you're kind of restricted on that side. But there's so many trails that you shouldn't just be restricted to the Kaibab Trail. And going into the backcountry office, this will open those options up for you. The cost of permits in the Grand Canyon will be $10 a permit and then $12 a person for every person on the permit. Now that will be changing and will be going up. Starting April 2024, it will be $15 a person for each person on the permit instead of $12. It still remains unclear of what percentages of the permits are still going to be for walk-ups, but they do say that there's going to be several walk-up permits available for each day. So now that the stress has been lifted off your shoulders as far as pre-planning for the Grand Canyon, you can do a little bit of basic research to see what trails you may want to hike when you arrive at the Grand Canyon. Feel free to check out some of my other videos of long adventure hikes that I've done in the Grand Canyon, including the West Tonto Trail, Shavaya Falls, and the Tanner Trail. Feel free to check out some of my other videos that I've done on the Arizona Trail that covers basic things like water, bear caches, campsites, food resupply, animals, which direction to hike and when and why, all that good stuff. Thank you very much. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like that, please hit that subscribe button. I will be doing some more updated videos on the Arizona Trail for food resupplies as some things have changed. So yeah, I appreciate your time. This is Cav saying out, and I'll see you out there, guys. Peace. Keep calm and hike on.
On Cottonwood Creek Campground. One of the bigger ones I've seen, but still pretty small. It notices us. Early morning, here for the mice.